My pretty babies. Where is my thing? Hang on. Ha, there we go. Are we ready for the reading? I just started, god damn it. Good morning. Also, I hydrated. Are you pretty babies prepared for reading? I have to fix my thing. Hang on. You're hearing some rustlings. Don't mind me. Hang on. There we go. Yes. Properly turned. It is cheaper than Spell Up launching, but yeah, fuck. This is bullshit. I'm getting attacked. But okay, real question though. Is the background too loud or is it not loud enough? Lizard. Apparently Boop the Snoot said no. Bye. Why do you hate me so? Oh, that's why. Hang on. I didn't realize that my thing was up, but we fixed it. Now the boopings of the Snoot shall happen. Hang on. What's this one?
Om nom nom.
That's Om Nom. That's the wrong one. That's not the right one. That one. There we go. Did it. Need to find the perfect gaming chair for myself. I found mine at Target. Ready for the werbs? Is everybody ready for the werbs? What? No. Okay, so as you all should know, at least not the new people, but we're just doing a comfy cozy reading today because people wanted to do the reading, or at least they want to hear me read for some reason. So we're reading, and I put a poll up. 4 different books, and this is the one that won, and it's Lights Out by what the fuck her name is. Some name. What the fuck? Fuck me. Hang on. Navessa Allen is her name. What happened? No xenomorph today. Hi, Kevin. Which noise? Also, is the background noise too loud or is it too soft? Anybody? Because I don't know what it sounds like from your side, so I need to know these things. There's multiple. I mean, there are sometimes. Why do you ask? Also, what noises are you hearing? He's still alive. Okay, good. It's one sound together. I did not add that in, I guess. Good to know. I knew I forgot something. Hang on. This thing. That's gonna go there. Okay, now it should work. And you get a free one. Because I fixed it. There you go. See, Ronald. Why Ronald? There's a blanket. Because comfy cozy reading. Now, I give warning though, in regards to this book. There are trigger warnings to this book. Because it's technically in the spicy category. So it's on the... So it's an actual tree. but it's a beautiful tree. Explode. I think so. I don't know, they can't eat it or get stuck by it or go past it. So. But yeah, full warning, there is a trigger warning to the book. And yeah. Now, are we ready for the reading? Well, you go get some EPs, Matthew. Good night. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Also, hi. You didn't need to do that, Jones, but thank you, sweetie. Your ass can be back next. Okay. Well, you'll be welcome back every time. A video about Appalachian Mountains and the boy was gone. Yeah, no, we don't talk about the Appalachians. It's a scary place. Okay. Hi, Noah. Are we ready for the reading to commence? Yes, no, maybe so. Ever so slightly. Also, titties! I only just realized the titties part. Oh. Ad starts soon. In 3 minutes, apparently. Do we do the readies? Are we the readies? I'm actually tearing up because I'm sad about the xenomorph isn't vanishing. The xenomorph is fine. Still gonna try and eat me, and not in a fun way. I'm gonna begin the reading. Hi, Lycan. I'm gonna begin reading, and then when the ad starts, I'll take a break, and I'll pause. A break. There we go. While it goes through. Okay. So this chapter is called Allie. Hopefully. Now, I'm not. Oh, I also give warning. I'm not the best at reading. I'm dyslexic as fuck, so I will fuck up words. Full warning. Exactly. Mello also says hi, Tiki Taki. Okay, so the new girl wasn't doing too well. She was curled up in one of the cheap, uncomfortable plastic chairs when I walked into the break room. Staring into space, her scrubs were rumpled.
Her scrubs were rumpled, messy buns slipping sideways off her head, blonde strands sticking out like she's been pulling at her hair. Beneath the fluorescent lights, her skin looked waxy and pale. The two other nurses in the room were giving her a wide berth? Yeah? Casting anxious looks her way, as if she was. Hi, Freddy. Oh, somebody who did it? Who put squeaker voice? Really? We're doing squeaker voice now in this? God damn it! The worst part about it is you have a 3-minute ad coming up. Worried she was going to puke or pass out, or worse, quit, like the others had. Yeah, fuck me, god damn it. Hydration has happened. Over my dead body. We needed her. I couldn't keep pulling back-to-back 15-hour shifts or I would burn out. Oh, I'm just gonna wait the 4 seconds and then go through the ad. We make our way through. Yes, welcome to Squeaker Mode, which you can click on and be a part of if you transfer your way over to the purple app. And now we wait. Really? The evil laugh has commenced. Also, that's massive. Just fuckle nuggets. Really, Natsu? Damn. You're gonna turn off your lights? You don't have to. I put it there. I don't know how big it is for you guys. Thank you for the follow. So I tried to make it as big as I could. I could make it bigger if I need to, if the reading is too small. Exactly. Hi, Nico. How are you, sweetie? Well, hi, Milo. What is it with you and my evil laugh? You don't have to do that, sweeties. I appreciate you, but you don't got to.
Lizard.
Lizard. Also, does the text on Tiki Talkie need to be bigger? I will make it bigger. I'm gonna do that. Thank you, though. What is this? Huh? I don't understand what that means, sweetheart. It should be. It's on. Yeah, I have blurbs. They're enabled. Do you not hear them? Yeah, they're on. What? It just literally just played. Hi, Dom. Yeah, what? You joined the fan club for Twitter, damn. No, it does not need to be dry. No. Is everybody back from the ads? Oh, then I have no idea. I'm going to assume yes. Hi, Sushi. What'd you do, Dom? Should probably put a blanket on your titties. Yeah. Yeah, update my Twitch.
Oh, I forgot it's still enabled. Yes, welcome to squeaker mode. Hi, hello. The 1-0 build match, and that's awesome, Dom. Very proud of you, sweetheart. Okay. No, put it back. Oh, rude. It's on a 5-minute timer. So it'll go from my normal voice to squeaker mode and then back to a normal voice after 5 minutes. Yes. I don't know why it's not working for you, sweetie. Lizard. Yeah, they have the chance on the purple to enable squeaker mode if they use their points. Okay. I feel a wave of cold air is hovering over me because I have a... How are you? You need to go to doctor if you're cold. Is it laggy? I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted. I don't know. I'm so sorry. So good to know I have to fix things. Jeff Buckle Nuggets. I will have to fix that. Because for me, everything is working just fine. No, I'm tripping, which very well could be. You've chosen violence. Why you gotta choose violence? Okay, are we ready to continue the reading? I'm gonna take that as a yes. Wait, why am I waiting? Not you! That was delayed as fuck. Okay, you don't have to do that. No. I do that. Okay. If I need to make them bigger, just let me know. And I'll make them bigger. Ah. The ice is causing interesting side effects beyond the... How do I want to know? No, it was my quality. Oh, okay. Night down, sweetie. It is a book, and it's Lights Out by Navessa Allen. I don't think I pronounced her name properly, but I'm going with it. Yeah, on to reading. God damn it, Natsu. Ah. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. But I saw Mari. What are you talking about? Okay, on to reading. I don't know what to tell you, Rich Sweetie. Fuck it, that's it. The fuck is that? Oh, it's you. It confused the shit out of me. Okay. This is I sent 504. God damn it, Natsu! Oh my god. Okay. I took a deep breath and strode towards her, ducking down by her side so if she did puke, I could dive out of the splash zone. She didn't seem to notice me. Not good. Hey, Brinley, right? I asked, keeping my voice low and calm. It was the same tone I used when speaking to sick children. Natsu! You don't gotta do that, but thank you, sweet baby. She blinked and turned my way, her blue eyes glassy and unfocused like she wasn't really seeing me. This was borderline shock. I wouldn't know. I saw it almost every shift in at least one of my patients. Damn it, she was totally going to quit. God damn it, Natsu. I'm trying to read! Damn it! I'm gonna close chat so I didn't see messages. That's fine. Do they need to be bigger? Or are they okay? You're not helping me read. You're... No. They're good? Okay. Just let me know if I need to change them. I turned slightly to the side, keeping my eyes trained on Brinley. Blanket? The sound of shuffling feet told me someone was following the request, so I faced forward again and gave the new nurse my full attention. I'd gotten the gossip on her from another of my colleagues. According to them, Brinley had been a nurse for 3 years and recently transferred from a smaller county ER. This was her first time working in a trauma hospital. Some people did just fine in a normal in the normal ERs. Just cracked when they came here. We were inner city in a metropolis known for its sky-high crime rates. Not a shift went by where we didn't see the worst of the worst. Stabbings, rapes, gunshot wounds, abuse victims, survivors of horrific car accidents, you name it. God damn it, Natsu. Once upon a time, there was a distraction. The distraction. Like, you're fucking adorable. I'm like, God damn it all. This is lights out, yes. Hi, John. Welcome in, sweetie. Thank you. Not me. You guys are fucking. You guys wanted me to read, and now I'm being distracted from the reading. How's your convention, sweetheart? Yeah, I'm time for now. For real though. God damn it, Natsu. I would. Go fuck. Oh, okay, well, I hope they do well. I hope it goes amazing. Apparently everybody wants to hear me read. Well, I have faith in them that they're gonna do amazing. Okay, bye, John. Thank you for stopping in, sweetheart. Tonight had been especially rough, even for me. And I'd seen so much shit that very little rattled me anymore. It could be scarring. Could be scarring for someone new to the trauma center like Brinley. And I cursed her luck that this was her first unsupervised shift. A blanket appeared in my periphery. I took it without looking and wrapped it around Brinley's shoulders. She moved like an automation, arms jerking as she clutched the ends together and tugged it tighter. His chest, she said, so low I barely caught the words. The whole middle was just missing. So she had gotten the close range shotgun wound. It was amazing the man was even alive when he arrived, and terribly sad because there was almost nothing we could do in cases like this, or like his. Too much of the heart, lungs, and other vital organs were shredded for someone to live through it. I heard he passed shortly after being rolled in. If Brinley had him, she would have gotten soaked through the blood. No wonder she was wearing different scrubs from earlier. Her hair was still looked down from having to shower it all off. Why are you trying to distract me? That's not the point. There was nothing you could have done, I told her. She sniffled and her eyes finally seemed to focus on me. I know, but God, I don't think I'll ever get that sight out of my head. Don't worry, tomorrow you'll see something equally traumatic, and that will take its place. The dark part of me thought, but I would never say something like that out loud. Has anyone told you about the therapist? I asked her. She nodded. The third floor, right? And if you were on a night shift and need to talk to someone, there's a 24/7 call line. Our hospital might overwork us, but it did an excellent job of prioritizing the mental health of its staff. We saw the same amount of daily trauma soldiers might face on the front line, and the burnout and the PTSD rates were sky high because of it. Regularly spoke to one of the on-call therapists. It was one of the few things keeping me relatively sane while the healthcare system crumbled around us. And so many people quit the field that we were becoming dangerously understaffed. Natsu! God did what? Why? You have an emote for me? Okay, fine. I don't know why. Why do you do this to me? Going back to reading now. I don't have the number for the call line, Brinley said, and a single tear rolling down her cheek. This was good. Tears I could work with. Tears meant she was already processing, and the risk of her going into shock was passing. Which locker did you put my stuff in? I asked. I'll grab your phone and add the number. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. It's classified. I'm supposed to be reading a book. 20 minutes later, she was back on her feet with her hands wrapped around a steaming mug of chamomile tea. And I put the call line in her phone. She stopped trembling, and a little color was returning to her cheeks. Only one other nurse was in the room with us now. Having replaced the previous unhelpful two from before, that nurse was Tanya, a trim black woman in her mid-40s who'd worked in trauma hospitals almost as long as Brinley had been alive. Tanya was my favorite coworker. She was great under pressure, had an excellent bedside manner, and knew more about treating people in emergency situations than most doctors we worked with. I'm watching this while sitting at my desk, and I'm wearing... Oh, it's cute. Just be comfy cozy. Right now, she was standing with Brinley near the window, talking quietly, one hand gripping the younger woman's shoulder. I tuned in and out as I gathered mine and Brinley's stuff, trusting Tanya to know all the right words to use as she coaxed Brinley back from the brink. You did so well, I heard her say, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass to make you feel better. I've seen other nurses with more experience freeze up during nights like this. Oh. That's not a good idea. But you kept your shit together and did what you had to. She turned to me. Back me up, Allie. I slung Brinley's bag over my shoulder and joined them. She's not lying, I said. You crushed it, from what I saw, and it's totally normal to break down a little afterwards. All that adrenaline built up too high, and your cortisol levels probably went bananas. There's no shame in disappearing into miniature stress coma. I still do it too, not on really bad nights. Brinley paled. I thought tonight was really bad. Whoops. Time to backtrack. Oh, Natsu's going to bed. Good night, sweetie. Where did I lose that? Okay. It was, I said, and I just meant I didn't see the worst this time. I think you and Mallory did. She let out a shaky breath. Oh, okay. Tanya turned back to her. Now, Allie's gonna give you a ride home. Her shift is over, too. Brinley looked between us, but my car is here. Tanya nodded. Yes, but we don't think you should drive right now. Hello, thing tweaking. Brinley seemed to see the wisdom in that. Yeah, you're probably right. Don't worry, I said. I checked your schedule. You were both on the shift at the same time tomorrow, so I'll give you a lift back. You parked in the employee lot. Employee lot? She nodded. Her car should be fine there. Your car. Your car should be fine there. Do you need to get anything out of it? She frowned. I don't think so. Tanya plucked the tea from her hands. Then you two should get out of here while you can. Thank you. She mouthed to her. She nodded. It wasn't uncommon to get roped into a few more hours of work if you loitered too long after your shift ended. Because someone always needed an extra set of hands, or more people were required to help stabilize a patient. Brinley wasn't in any shape for that, and I had been there four extra hours already. It was time to go. I steered Brinley toward the exit and we took the back way out to avoid running into anyone else. She was quiet as we walked, but looked much better than when I first saw her. So I took that as a good sign. Do you live with anyone? I asked her.
I
My
would.
boyfriend. My boyfriend, she said. Is he home right now? I didn't love the idea of leaving her alone if he wasn't. She nodded. He is. I texted him at the end of my shift before I sat down, and well, you saw. Talking about it helps, I told her. I'm not sure if your boyfriend is squeamish, but telling him about what you went through tonight could get some of it out of your head. I'm not sure, she said, her voice laced with indecision. You don't have to go into detail, just the basics. And I put my number in your phone along with the therapist line, so you can always call me too. She shot me a relieved look. Thank you. I don't think he'd get it, you know? I haven't chill person, so what the fuck? Trying to chill. What the fuck? Sometimes I love you guys, but sometimes I really question things. Okay. I nodded. I didn't know, unlike Brinley, I was single-ish. But even when I had partners, I didn't talk shop with them. I never dated seriously. I was too career focused for that right now. And talking about a bad day or how sad it was when I lost a patient felt like the kind of thing you saved for a significant other. Mostly, I spilled my guts to my therapist or other nurses. From the look on Brinley's face, I could tell that she would be the same. Civilians, as we called non-healthcare or emergency workers, didn't get it a lot of the time. We chatted more on the way home about safer topics like the latest TV show everyone was watching to distract ourselves from the night we had. By the time I dropped Brinley off at her townhouse, the sun was starting to rise over the city, glinting off the distant high rises and painting the clouds a macabre ombre, I think. Don't quote me. That ranged from the deep purple of new bruises to the arterial red of freshly spilled blood. God, I'm morbid this morning, I thought, pulling my eyes from the sky. Oh, I bet you do feel eepy now. I'd spent so much time Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. I'd spent so much time trying to help and then distract Brinley that I hadn't processed my own shit show of a night. There was a guy who had gotten stabbed 3 times, a woman with a broken wrist, bloody nose, and a guilty-looking husband who wouldn't let her speak for herself, and a 2-year-old with RSV so bad that he had to be med-flighted to the children's hospital. The worst was the homeless man with the frostbite, not because it was an extreme case. His frostbite was relatively mild, and he'd keep all his toes, but because no one else in my rotation wanted to go into his room because he smelled so bad. Complaining loudly enough in the hall outside that he... Oh, good. Complaining loudly enough in the hall outside that he probably heard them. It both broke my heart and pissed me off, so I sent the others running and took care of him myself. Those were the kinds of cases that stuck with me now. Not the overly gory ones, but the sad ones. I fixated on them. Where was the man's family? Where were they looking for him? What about the woman being abused by her husband? Would she be able to go out before he hurt her again? I mean, if you fall asleep, you fall asleep. That's perfectly fine. My back is in pain. I'm sorry, King. Oh god. Yes. My drive home passed in a blur as these thoughts filled my head, and before I knew it, I was pulling into my driveway. The street was dark enough that my house was lit up by twinkling string lights. It was well into the second week of January, but the few of my neighbors still had their holiday decorations up, so I wasn't rushing to take mine down. Seeing those lights flashing merrily in the pre-dawn gloom was precisely the kind of pick-me-up I needed. Anything to keep the darkness at bay. I turned my car off, got out. My house wasn't much, just a small 2-bedroom, craftsman-style cottage in a semi-safe neighborhood. But it was all mine, and I was damn proud of the work I had done fixing it up and putting my unique stamp on this place. On the place. The siding was a unique pale blue-green. The trim was a white Olga. Hang on. The trim was a warm white, and the small front deck looked festive and inviting thanks to the holidays themed welcome sign and the Christmas tree that sparkled with tinsel and decorations. Inside was just as merry. I didn't have any family left that mattered, and decking my house out top to bottom in seasonal decor was how I distracted myself from the depressing fact that I either spent the holidays alone or I'm working every year. I'm sorry you keep getting sleep paralysis. That sucks. How'd you pull a muscle? You're supposed to be careful, King. You know this. Hi, Takio, sweetheart. Don't mind me. Shifting. I can press button. You need... Hi, human sweetie. You definitely need to take some care of yourself. That was my stuff for my VTuber. I was fixing things. Not too much because the Natsu kept putting in the biddies and the whatnots. I'm taking care of the downscreaming out back with them. King, you need to rest yourself, not do so much. You're gonna do the hurdy-hurdies. More than what you already have. Wah. Don't do that. A loud yowl. Yowl? Ew. A loud yowl split the air as I closed the door behind me and kicked off my shoes. While I wasn't entirely alone, I did have Fred to keep me company. He must have been fast asleep on my bed when I walked in, because his yowling started further away and then rose in pitch and volume as he raced toward me, like an ambulance screaming down the highway. Man, he's loud when he's angry, I thought. If he kept this up, my nearest neighbors were going to start thinking I hurt him. Oh my god, Fred, I said as my long-haired black and white cat raced across around the corner. You're fine. I'm only a few hours late this time. That's not how you say that. What did I miss? Is it not yellow? How do you pronounce it then? I take care of myself. Think lawn? Hi, Yui. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So the yawn? Should I say yawn? I'm learning new words today. Yeah, God, I'm glad. I apparently can pronounce your name, but I can't. I'm not pronouncing you yowling right. So apparently it's pronounced yawning.
I want.
I'm gonna go back to trying to stretch and relax. Okay, thank you for popping in, King. I hope you feel better. I'm sorry that you're not feeling well. On 2 more reading. When was the first time? I don't. Well, I was able to pronounce your name properly, but I can't pronounce the word yowling or yowl correctly because apparently it's supposed to be pronounced lawn, or like you yawn. And I've learned a new thing. So, woo! I scooped him up when he yawning. Yeah, apparently it's yawning. Okay, if it's yawning, why is it spelled weird? It just makes my brain hurt. What the fuck? Just checked, you pronounce yowling right. I am, yes. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. No, it is yowling. So I was right.
What?
Okay, well, I'm gonna continue saying it. I'm calling it yowling. You're funny English words I can't pronounce. I can't English 90% of the fucking time. I'm assuming a very loud meow. I don't know. Yeah, yowling, yawning. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call it yowling. Yeah. So I don't confuse my brain. So you got Obi-Wan follow, so you've got to... Yes. Is what felines do. I know that's what they do. I scooped him up when he reached me, turning him onto his back so I could bury his face in his fluffy belly. My mom called this fur therapy. Growing up, she'd come home from a long day of work, and before saying hi to dad or me, she'd head straight to a cat, snuggle them until they started to squirm. I did the same thing. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Post is shorter than shush, Finnick. Hi, Louie. Oh, hi. I kind of figured by the name. Love you too, sweetie. Hi, turtle. No, sweetie, it's perfectly fine. I appreciate the follows that you did give. No need to be sorry, you're perfectly okay. Now no one interrupt lady or you will get sent to the live. I'm a dinosaur. Oh my god. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Love you too, Louie, sweetie. Also love you too, Finnick. Spring crash produce. I'm not really Why are we okay? I'm interested in this and now let me read it with lady. I haven't even been on there yet, Louie. I will check it out when I can. Okay, sweetheart? It always made I'm going back to reading now. It always made her feel better, so I'd done the same thing to Fred since the day after he showed up in my yard. A half-drowned kitten crying to get out of a storm. I didn't know if it was because he was so young when I started doing it to him, but he tolerated fur therapy pretty well. Crying and making biscuits in my hair. That's so cute. If you told me... Yes, because it's out of habit. Go to sleep, turtle. I'm sorry. get through containers to empty out. Oh, very nice. I'm listening and playing grounded. I probably would have seemed like a lunatic to a non-cat people, but I didn't give a shit. On principle, I didn't trust anyone who didn't like cats. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. God damn. So they'd never be around to judge me anyway. I set Fred down once I'd gotten my fill, and he trotted behind me as I headed to my room to change. You'd think I'd be tired after such a long shift, but I was wide awake. Probably because I'd learned how to fall asleep at the drop of a dime, and I found somewhere to take a 5-minute power nap whenever there was a lull. The hospital had been weirdly quiet from midnight to 1. I'd slept for a whole hour. Tanya told me one of the floor nurses, someone who worked on a higher floor in the specialty unit, had commented about how it had been slow when she came to pick up lab work, which jinxed us. ER nurses knew better than to say things like that. Literally though, never go into a hospital or like an ER and say that, thank you for the follow, welcome to the forest. Never go into a hospital and say it's quiet in here or it's been slow tonight, because then it's gonna jinx them for the rest of their fucking shift and it's gonna be a non-stop shit show. I like how you guys have me up and you're listening to me read while you guys play games. That's fucking cute. I showered, changed into the coziest pajamas I owned, poured myself an oversized glass of white wine, and snuggled up with Fred on my couch. I had half a mind to turn on the TV and zone out for a while, but I had checked my phone once during my shift, and those social media notifications were calling. Giving in to the inevitable, I pulled up my favorite app and started scrolling. There were the expected videos of cute animals doing cute things, people acting like idiots, and getting themselves into trouble. Story times about exes and their muscular people posing in gym mirrors. But more than anything else, there were thirst traps. Specifically thirst traps of men wearing some sort of mask. My obsession with them started at the beginning of autumn, when this subgenre of videos rose to the spotlight every year, thanks to horny book lovers and lusty lurkers like me. With one hand, I scratched behind Fred's ear, and the other was busy smashing that like button for videos of men dressed in cosplay, decked out in futuristic military gear, and even a few sporting full horror movie costumes. I saved my favorites for the ghost-like masks, though. The shirtless ones had me drooling. Add in a knife and some fake blood, and that was an instant follow. My absolute favorite creator was the user with the handle, The Faceless Man, because he had everything I loved most. A custom mask that was unlike anyone else's, and was as sensual as it was terrifying. Muscles, good lighting, exceptional music selection, and an innate understanding of how to reel the viewer in and keep us begging for more. I had a whole favorite section devoted to his videos, and I routinely went back and rewatched them whenever I needed a distraction after a bad shift, like tonight. I'm good, FA. How are you, sweetie? Wait, what? I do what if I find... Apparently a lot of people find my voice relaxing. I don't know how, but I'm glad it is. I drained the last of my wine. Damn. I completely lost track of time when I scrolled and got up to pour myself another round. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. I can tell what type of free shit this kid. Exactly, Veritas. You get it. That's why I said there's a trigger warning. for another round. Fred jumped down from the couch and curled inside his little felt house by the TV, having reached his snuggle limit. I checked his food and his water in the kitchen. Both were still mostly full, and I emptied the last of the wine into my glass. By the time I finished, I'd be half a bottle deep. Yep, I'd be tipsy soon, hopefully tired. I only had 10 hours until my next shift started, and I desperately needed to catch up on all the sleep I'd missed during the usual holiday uptick at the hospital. I tugged a blanket over myself as I sat back down, and then pulled up my videos of the faceless man. Are you excited to get off work, F.A.? I hope so. I can't wait. As I had taken to calling him, it was hard to pick a favorite, but if someone held a gun to my head and told me I had to, it would be the one where he was sprawled out over a couch shirtless, his head resting on the arm, and the scene flooded by red light. He was only visible from the ribs up. It's reconnecting. I don't know, sweetheart. I don't know how it can be lagging. He was only visible from the ribs up, his skin covered in tattoos, muscles clenched as his arm moved in a rhythmic motion. Oh, it's fixing itself. Ooh. Moved in a rhythmic motion that suggested he was jerking off but didn't go far enough to get him banned. I never knew where to look when I watched it, and at the way his biceps tensed and flexed with every stroke, or how his chest heaved like he was on the brink of coming. But I don't know how to make these other questions. Or just off screen where I could imagine his hand pumping his jerk. Okay. He started the video staring up at the ceiling. Towards the very end, he turned his head to stare directly into the camera. And even though I knew a mask couldn't have an expression, I felt it like his did. Like those gaping black eyes stared straight into my soul, and that smirking mouth was calling my name while he came. The video cut off right after he turned his head, and it was embarrassing how many times I had paused it right before that happened so I could stare into those eyes a few moments longer. What would it be like to be in the room with him when he filmed it? To be the one he thought of while he got himself off? Or better yet, to come home one day and find him taking up this very couch as he waited for me in the dark, covered in blood, light glinting off the steel of his knife? The thought made me shudder with a mix of desire and fear. I wanted it in a way that probably wasn't healthy. And after all the ugly shit I'd seen working in the trauma center, and even before that in my fucked up teen years, it was only natural that my tastes were starting to skew heavily towards the dark side. Or making one with the dark side. Maybe Tyler will wear it for me, I thought. Right, Tyler, the guy I've been hooking up with for almost a year now. I'd nearly forgotten about him. It wasn't that he was forgettable exactly. He was good looking and a decent lay. But when work got busy, I tend to lose myself in it, and then that had been happening a lot because of the hospital's staffing crisis. Damn. When was the last time we hooked up? It must have been before Christmas at least, meaning it was far past time for a booty call. Tomorrow was my last shift of the week, and then I had 2 glorious days off. What better way to spend them than spread out under a man who knew where a clit was? That's funny. I drained my wine, feeling high on the possibility of experiencing a masked man in real life. Before I could think better of it, I screenshotted an image of my favorite video and sent it to Tyler along with the text. I have 2 days off starting Friday. Want to come over that night and bring a mask like this? I promise I'll make it interesting for you. Damn. His response didn't come back until a few hours into my shift the next day, because he had been asleep like a normal person when I had sent my text. My heart sank as I read his words. Damn, girl, you still alive? I thought you ghosted me. It's been 2 months. Pass on the mask thing. I'm not into it, and I'm seeing someone anyway. 2 months? Had it really been that long? I scrolled up in our text thread, and shit, it had. Maybe it was time to book another therapy session and ask if they had any tips on balancing a personal life alongside this line of work. Because clearly I was failing. Chapter 2. Josh. You good, man? I asked my roommate. We paused our video game 5 minutes ago so he could text someone, and I was getting bored. Tyler flopped onto the couch next to me. Oh my god, is he the roommate? Oh my god, he's the fucking roommate. Look. Okay. Tyler flopped onto the couch next to me. Yeah, I just had to break things off with that girl Allie I was hooking up with. I frowned. I thought you ended it months ago. He shook his head and ran a hand through his dark blonde hair, flexing his bicep and turning to check his muscles out. Knock it off was on the tip of my tongue, but I kept my mouth shut. There wasn't anyone here for Tyler to impress, but he'd been vain so long as I'd known him, and he posed even when he didn't realize he was doing it. It was almost like a nervous tick at this point, so he must have been more bothered that the must have been more bothered by the Allie situation than he was letting on. I thought she ghosted me, he said, but she probably got busy at work again. I turned towards the TV and tried to act normal. She's an ER nurse, right? I already knew the answer to that, along with several other facts, like her address, where she had gone to nursing school, what kind of grade she got, and what her current work schedule was. You know, normal things people knew about their roommates' ex-hookups. No, but okay. Yeah, Tyler said. I don't hear from her for 2 months, and then look at the shit she sends me. He pulled his phone out of his pocket and unlocked it and tossed it to me. I caught it out of the air and glanced down, freezing the second my eyes landed on the screen. Oh fuck. This was happening the day I dreaded since starting a secret social media account. Oh fuck! A social media account 2 years ago had finally arrived. My online life was colliding with my real one, and I was about to be found out. Oh fuck. Ah, okay. Hi, Samuel. This is funny. Okay. Play it fucking cool, man, I told myself. Tyler was watching me, and I couldn't let him see how freaked out I was. But fuck. Allie had a mask kink, and of all the screenshots she could have sent my roommate, she chose this one? I cleared my throat. You never said she was into that kind of thing, which was weird because Tyler had a habit of telling me every sordid detail of his sex life, even though I begged him to keep it to himself. We're reading Lights Out by Navessa Allen. We're on chapter 2. He snorted. I didn't know she was, so it's good I'm seeing Sarah because I'm not. I just want to get in, get off, and get the fuck out. I'm not down for playing games. Damn, you are not adventurous and you are sad. How unfortunate for the people he slept with. That's what I'm saying. So fucking sad. I hear that. I lied, tilting the phone towards me as if I were inspecting the picture, and whoops, there went my thumb. Shit, I accidentally deleted the text. Tyler shrugged. It's fine. I didn't need some shirtless dude on my screen. Some shirtless dude? I thought as I handed the phone back. Hi, Hades! So he hadn't looked at the picture closely, because if he had, he would have recognized the tattoos, the tattoos, my tattoos. A girl he'd slept with had sent him a screenshot from one of my videos, and I would have been laughing. I would have been laughing if not for the fear of discovery and the adrenaline roaring through my veins. You ready? He asked, lifting his controller. Sure. He unpaused the game and we went back to shooting at everything that moved. I tried to focus on the split screen before me, but all I could think was of that text. Allie wanted to be fucked by someone wearing a mask. I'd only met her once, but she'd made an impact. It was over the summer, early one morning after she had spent the night in Tyler's bed, not sleeping. I'd been awake too, cursing the weird acoustics of our apartment until I found my noise-canceling headphones and drowned them out with music. I'd always slept like shit, so I didn't expect anyone else to be up when I finally threw in the towel. And I went to make coffee several hours later. Tyler's door cracked open right after the machine beeped to tell me that it had finished brewing. I'd half turned, expecting my roommate, only to see a woman instead. A tall woman, which was unfortunate because she was wearing one of Tyler's shirts and it barely covered her crotch. My eyes were immediately fallen, taking in her long legs. Tyler met her at his gym. She looked like someone who regularly hit the weights, thick thighs, toned calves, and from what I could see from her arms, they were just as muscular. You wish you had a tall girl? We love we love any size girl and man. We love them all. My eyeballs are tearing from the giggles. Goddamn, you're tall. I'm tall as fuck, Samuel. I lifted my gaze, realizing I was staring, and instantly regretted it. Allie was hot, and not that I expected otherwise. Tyler always dated attractive people, but she was more striking than beautiful, with a pointed chin, full lips that filled like full lips that looked like they'd been well used the night before. A nose my mother would have said was distinctively Italian, and large dark eyes. Her brown hair was a mess, falling to her elbows in loops and snarls. The smile she'd given me when our gazes locked was nearly blinding. Please tell me you made enough for two. I grunted an affirmative and put my back to her. She tried to make small talk with me, but I hadn't been outright rude or anything, but I'd kept my distance and my face turned away while giving her monosyllabic. I don't know what that word is. Monosyllabic. I think that, I don't know, I'm not pronouncing that right. Giving her some off-put answers, because fuck. And she had fallen quiet pretty fast. To make up for it, I poured her coffee first, set the mug on the counter where she could reach it, and then I splashed some into my cup and hightailed it out of there. Tyler hadn't told her who I was, and he knew better than that, but I couldn't risk her seeing my face for too long and starting to wonder who I reminded her of. I looked too much like my goddamn father, and that Netflix documentary had just come out about him. It would have been my luck that Allie had seen it. Okay. The whole summer was rough, thanks to that documentary, and I'd barely left the apartment because of it. Whenever Daddy Dearest was in the news, I'd have someone stop me on the street or in the supermarket and say, I don't know if anyone has ever told you this, but you look just like that guy I read about the other day. Or they listened to a podcast about him or watched a true crime episode that focused on his many misdeeds. With the documentary came a fresh wave of interest. and I'd been working overtime for months to keep people from finding me or my mom and stepdad. Everyone wanted exclusive interview, and the exclusive interview from George Marshall Seacliff's surviving family members, and sometimes they went to illegal lengths to track us down. It was why I'd gotten into hacking when I was still in high school. I'd wanted to help the three of us disappear from the internet, and I learned everything I could in the pursuit. I could in pursuit of making that happen. Those skills had paid off in the long run. Now I worked for an exclusive cybersecurity firm writing code that kept other hackers from infiltrating Fortune 500 companies and stealing all their clients' money. It allowed me to work from home with flexible hours, leaving enough time to pursue other hobbies, like making thirst traps for all the other masked enthusiasts out there. Damn. Oh, that's awesome, Rich. Yeah. Oh, that scared the fuck out of me. The same reason I stayed inside was why I didn't date much. What is up with my TikTok today? My TikTok says fuck you. Yeah, welcome to the book that won the poll. The same reason I stayed inside was why I didn't date much. Even though my hair was darker than my dad's and I wore it shorter than his, we looked damn near identical. It wasn't so bad when I was younger and my face hadn't filled out yet. But being a scrawny kid had saved me. Now that I've grown into my man body. But thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Now that I've grown into my man body and was nearly the age my dad was when he got caught, I was a carbon copy of his mugshot. Damn. I don't know. It's causing issues today. I don't know why. This book. So this is the book Marumi is reading. I guess. One of the first questions okay, we got a minute. Okay. One of the first questions I asked the woman I matched with on dating apps was whether or not they were into true crime. If they said yes, I blocked them and moved on. I only ever took a chance on the ones who said they hated all that gross stuff. On the rare occasion I did meet and hook up with women. It only lasted a few weeks at most. I broke things off when it felt like they were catching feelings, or they got that look in their eyes that they said that they were trying to puzzle out where they knew me from. God damn, what's up with TikTok today? Even mirrors were a problem nowadays because I couldn't look at one without picturing my own face contorted in rage as fists rained down on me. I'd seen other documentaries about violent men, and it always baffled me when their family members swore they had no idea what their father, husband, uncle had been doing in their free time. My dad was a fucking monster, and there was no disguising it. He'd only gotten away with his crimes for so long because he targeted marginalized women, was handsome and could put on a good show for a short period, just long enough to convince the sex workers he frequented to get in the car with him. A lot like his idol, Ted Bundy. Of course it'd be Ted Bundy. Okay, I'm gonna pause the reading because I have an ad coming in like 10 seconds, so we wait. And I don't know who all in here doesn't have a subscription, so I'm gonna wait anyway. Be my full dedication to this book. Please don't stop reading. I love reading. I don't know how my reading voice is much different than my normal voice. It's probably just I speak quieter and softer. Hi, human sweetie. Is she reading the mommy voice you do sometimes? I can't. I can promise you, I will not. That's a lot. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it. I don't want to read in the mommy voice. I'm not very good at it anyway. But that's besides the point. Also, why am I bald? Bald. Bald. Everything's having issues today. What the fuck is happening? It might cause a lot of people some issues. So how are you guys liking the stream? Do we like it? Do we hate it? Meh. First, the ones that can hear me. I'd be bricked up the entire book. Sure, one way or either. They'd be excited. God damn, what the fuck is happening? Oh, I'm glad that you like it too, FA. $10 says the author flicked her bean to her own book while writing. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. 100%. Okay, well now ads are over, and we're gonna continue to read. I'm sorry your chats are disappearing. They're showing up for us. The only communal mirror left in our apartment was the one in the half bath. I turned my own head down every time I was in there to avoid it. So yeah, my face was a problem, which was why the thought of wearing a mask was so appealing. I'd been fixated on it for years and finally found an excuse to don one after... What happened? No free wallpaper. Don one after a story popped up on my news feed about the rise of thirst traps accounts with people wearing masks. It was a lofty think piece about the psychology, fuck me, behind the trend. And I ignored all that bullshit and zeroed in on the videos embedded into the article. Why, but I feel like Allie and Tyler's roommate will meet. Oh, no, it will happen. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening. My internet must hate me today. And I'm super, super sorry. I'm busy warming myself. Wait, what? I didn't ignore your comment. I was like, no. Oh, God. Okay. I could do that. I realized the thought striking like lightning. Here was a way to finally join social media, show off the body I worked so hard for, and fulfilled every human's desire to interact with others. Plus, I inherited some shit from my father, and one of those traits was wanting to be admired. I'd suppressed it for most of my life, but lately my therapist had been trying to convince me how normal it was to chase after fame and acclaim. There's not too much stuff though. That's what I don't understand. It don't like me. Just when I read the book. Shush. Our primitive brains craved it because back when we were still bashing each other's heads in with mammoth bones. Yes. To be popular was to be safe and protected inside the cave. Deciding it was okay to indulge my desires for once, I'd placed an online order for some high-end videography equipment and spent hours designing and 3D printing a custom mask, and watched far too many YouTube videos on filmmaking before I'd created a social media account. It really doesn't like TikTok today. Damn. Oh, what happened? I'm being asked a question. Oh, okay. I'd told absolutely no one about it, not even Tyler, who'd been my best friend for as long as I could remember. Dude, you're fucking trash today, he said, as we both died on screen again. Shit, sorry. Thinking about work, I lied. He tossed his controller onto the coffee table harder than was necessary. Whatever, I'm over it. I need to get to the gym before it gets crazy. Someone's sassy. Fucking bitch. He stood from the couch and strode into his room. Tyler could be a dick and was absolutely a fuckboy, but he was also the only person who hadn't immediately abandoned me when my dad got arrested. He was a good friend beneath the debauchery, or no, the douchey, not debauchery. He was a good friend. God damn it, TikTok. He was a good friend beneath the douchery, the douchey exterior, and loyal almost to a fault. It was his idea to move to the city and start over when people at college figured out who I was. And his exact quote was, "Fuck 'em, let's bounce." So I didn't think he was serious at first. Not until he filed transfer paperwork to switch schools and started sending me listings for off-campus housing. I dropped out instead of switching with him. It felt like my time at school had run its course by then, and none of the professors could teach me anything else about hacking. The rest of my education lay online, and I studied endlessly until I felt ready to enter the job market. I applied only for one position, the one I currently held, by hacking into huge media conglomerate and showing the company I now worked for how I'd gotten past their defenses. They paid me a king's ransom to keep one step ahead of the emerging cyber threats. Enough that I had thought that the most expensive amateur camera on the market I bought the most expensive amateur camera on the market without blinking. And our rent was paid off for the next 2 years. Goddamn, 2 years? Holy shit. I heard a drawer slam shut in Tyler's room, and I took that as my sign to stand. My phone was on my work desk, and I was itching to get it within my grasp. I needed to pull up the video Allie sent and see if I could find her in the comment section. Oh wait, yeah, in the comment section, she had a masking, or at the very least, she was into enough that she wanted someone to wear one for her. So far, I ignored every single DM asking me to meet with people IRL and play with their fantasies. They were strangers online, they could be anyone, and I didn't want to show up at some octogenarians. I don't know what that word is. Octogenarians? Yep. House. When I had been expecting a hot 20-something. Allie wasn't a stranger. I knew her better than I could have. Sure. But thanks to Dad's genetic contributions, boundaries were hard for me. She had been in my house, the one sanctuary I had left. The need to protect my identity and keep Tyler and me safe was strong enough that I did FBI level search into anyone Tyler invited over. Thankfully, he understood my compulsion and told me ahead of time when he planned to have company. Usually, I stopped caring when I realized people weren't a threat to either of us, but my interest in Allie had remained long past the point Allie had remained long past the point it probably should have. I snagged my phone off the desk and sat on my bed. As I pulled up my account, the video Allie screenshotted was one of my most popular, with over 3.4 million views. The downside was that I had thousands of comments to look through. If I had any hope of finding her in them, and even that was a crapshoot. Most people were pretty anonymous online. It'd be just my luck that Allie was one of them. I wish I could write a code to look for her, but this part of the job required minimal intervention, so I settled back against my headboard and started scrolling, glancing at names and avatars for any sign of her. An hour passed before I sat bolt upright, thumb hovering over the username Allie.Allie.oxen.free. God damn. Holy shit, was it her? I clicked on her profile, and of course it was private. I leaned in, squinting. The avatar was a close-up photo of a dark-haired woman. I screenshotted it, and then I used an AI software I had loaded onto my phone to blow it up and fix the resolution issues, until I was staring at a crystal-clear picture of Allie. Sure, that was her. Sure that it was her. Just to be 100% certain, I logged onto my computer and hacked her account. God damn it, guy, really? I hacked her account using every trick in the book to cover my tracks and keep her from being flagged. The IP address she used to create her account was local, and when I did some more digging, I discovered that it originated from the block she lived on. I'd found her. Allie not only had a masking, but she liked one of my videos enough to leave a comment. Sir, I'm at work. How dare you? Had she left any others? I logged into my account from my computer and created a few lines of code that would search for her in my comment section. There were so many returns my head started to spin. She liked, saved, and commented almost every single one. All the blood in my body went straight to my dick, tenting my sweatpants. This wasn't good. I should have been sitting here. I shouldn't be sitting here lusting over my roommate's ex, whatever she was. Not his girlfriend. They'd never been serious enough to define their relationship. And Tyler had seen others. God damn it, the reconnecting is on some shit today. I'm so sorry, Tiki-Taki. Wait, what's not helping? What'd I do? How am I not helping? And Tyler had seen other people at the same time as Allie. That meant this wasn't breaking any bro code, right? Only several privacy laws and a whole bunch of societal norms, I think. But I never really cared about them much. Tyler was the only friend I had, and I didn't want to risk losing him over a woman, even if that woman had been plaguing my dreams since I had first laid eyes on her. What he doesn't know won't hurt him, I thought, and it wasn't like I'd done anything yet anyway. That wasn't what was the harm, and a little light online stalking. She'd done the same to me. My eyes landed on the first comment that my search returned. Is this video why I randomly woke up at 2 a.m.? Human, go to sleep. Okay, is this video why I randomly woke up at 2 a.m.? Was I summoned here? I grinned, shaking my head. Of course she was funny too. It wasn't like it was bad enough that she was hot and probably off limits. I kept reading. Her comments ranged from lighthearted to downright vicious? Laviscus? No. I don't know what that word is, so we're skipping it. Because I don't know. I would like to thank the algorithm for bringing me here. I'm on season 6 of this video. Well, this has me feeling feral far
too early in the morning. The way I could crawl to him. Boom, there went my ovaries. Oh, the squeaker mode has come out. I pushed back. Wait, no. This is the horror movie I would die in. Everyone else would be running away while I sprinted straight towards the danger instead. I pushed back from my computer desk. Oh, this was bad. Because that last comment hit me harder than the rest. And now all I could picture was chasing her down and fucking her when I finally caught her. Was this how it started? I just used the innocent fantasy about ravaging a woman somewhere that no one could hear her scream. Would it get worse from here? And my desires would progress past that to fucking her and choking her a little at the same time? And after that, squeezing even harder until I watched a life blink from her eyes while I pounded into her? The squeaker mode wakes everybody up. My dick instantly deflated, which I took as a good sign. I wasn't turned on by the idea of seriously hurting Allie. Maybe I wasn't as far gone as I had feared. I rolled my chair back to my desk and read through the rest of what she had written, which took a while because there were over 100 search returns. Damn. Less than a minute passed before my dick was standing straight for her again. So many of her comments revolved around coming home and finding me waiting for her. And soon, my mind began to fill with the thoughts of feeding into her fantasy. What would happen if I had actually broken into her house? In reality, she'd either shoot my dumb ass or run away and call the cops. And then my entire life would blow up when I got arrested and the headlines started screaming that I was just like my dad. But I wasn't living in reality right now. My thoughts were pure fantasy, and I couldn't stop picturing myself breaking in and Allie responding exactly like she said she would, crawling to me, begging me to fuck her while I held a knife to her throat. This man is always coming on my FYP. Onto my FYP. Never on me. And never on me! And that was a tragedy. It was probably my favorite quote of all time. I groaned and palmed my dick through my sweatpants. The things I would do to this woman if she let me. I'd play into every lustful dark thought that she'd ever had. and I wouldn't have to worry about her desire turning into terror beneath me, because with my face hidden, there wasn't any risk of that. For once in my life, I could be free of the fear of discovery or recognition. That thought turned me on almost as much as Allie did. I leaned back in my chair and slid my hand into my boxers, gripping the base of my dick. What would it be like to break into her house? I knew I could do it. Along with hacking, I was pretty good at skulking around at night. I'd always been a night owl, which was especially true lately when there was less risk for anyone seeing me in the darkness than in daylight. I did my shopping at 24-hour grocery stores. My workouts were saved for 2 a.m. when there wasn't anyone in our apartment's gym. This book is not a good combo. The up, down, yeah. I stroked my hand up my dick and imagined picking Allie's lock. I learned how to do it as a teen, so I could sneak into my therapist's office and see what he'd written about me. A mistake because I wasn't ready for what I found, but at least I learned a new skill in the process. I could dust it off now and put it to better use, slipping into Allie's house in the dead of night while she was on shift at the hospital. I rubbed my thumb over the head of my dick when I reached the top, coating it with hold on for chapter 2. Okay. I've never had to read one of these out loud, so like my brain's oh fuck, okay.
I coated it in pre-cum before sliding my hand back down to grip my base again. My lids fell shut as I pictured Allie standing in her doorway, looking rumpled and tired after a long night, her eyes flashing wide with fear when she realized she wasn't alone. Who's there? What do you want? I heard her call out in a quivering voice. In my head, I pointed the knife at her and answer. You. She put her hands up. Just take what you want and get out. Please don't hurt me. I shook my head and tilted the knife tip towards the door in an explicit command. She dropped to her knees like a good little girl. I strode towards her, watching her chest rise and fall as I approached. Her eyes moved from the knife to my shirtless torso covered in blood, and the black of her pupils inching out brown. Inching out brown as her fear started to shift into lust. I stopped above her, staring down at her upturned face. Yep. Revealing in the vulnerability of her position. Oh, so carefully. I placed the tip of the knife beneath her chin and tilted her face up. As I unzipped my fly, I let my dick spring out. Her gaze lifted to the dark eyed sockets of my mask for one breathless moment, and then her lips popped open and she leaned forward, suctioning the luscious mouth around the head of my dick, and oh fuck, I was about to come. Can I halfway unhear this? Sorry. I asked this from the squeaky voice. I forgot that it was enabled. Every bit. Oh, this is funny. I yanked a few tissues from the nearby box and got them down my pants just in time to soak them. Hi, Iris. But the squeaky voice is not okay in my ears. Down my pants in time to soak them. The sight of Allie before me, afraid and horny at the same time. I wanted it. bad, more than I want anything in a long time. All I had to do was figure out a way to make it happen that didn't end with my arrest. Yeah, probably would be a good idea. Allie's neighborhood was still lit up like Christmas, and that was surprisingly the biggest hurdle I had to face while planning my little stunt. A week had passed since I saw her text to Tyler. 7 days of trying to talk myself into this insanity while practicing my lockpicking skills, researching whether or not Allie had a home security system. She didn't, which was unacceptable. And driving through this neighborhood at night doing recon, clearly the still rational part of my brain had failed to get the rest of me to see reason, because there I stood in the shadows at Allie's back door, trying to catch my breath after triggering a mini street-wide blackout and sprinting behind her house to unscrew her rear floodlights before the power kicked back on. Damn. I just think if it happens enough, then you can only get a wreck to Alpha Ninja. That's so bad. I leaned my head against the vinyl siding and closed my eyes as I was going I was going to get caught. I was going to get caught and make international news. And because of who my father was, there was no way a jury would ever think this was my first break-in. They think I planned something far more nefarious, and I'd get sent to jail for the rest of my life for this stupid shit. All because I wanted to fuck a pretty girl while wearing a mask. I just don't want that to happen. Oh my god. I'm concerned. I should have gone home, pushed off the wall and got in my car and drove away, and forgot all about Allie's masking. A normal guy would have, a sane guy, but I must not have been either of those things, because the second thoughts of leaving swirled through my head. A resounding no cut them off. Maybe it was time to accept the fact that I wasn't normal, and I never would be. I wanted things most people didn't. Crave darkness and depravity instead of light and love. I'd been fighting my nature for as long as I could remember, and I was tired. Tired of it? Yes. So fucking tired. It'd be much easier to give in for once. A relief, really. I'd worked so hard to fix and suppress the things I'd been taught were abnormal, but after over a decade of therapy and drugs, the thoughts and desires that most of society deemed problematic remained. They're making you realize the consequences? What consequences? That's so bad, Veritas. God, Damon, what the fuck? Why am I supposed to start watching? Oh my god. Oh. I don't know how much longer is left on the squeaker voice. To be fair. Because I don't know when they redeemed it. Oh, did it? Oh, I thought it was in squeaker this whole time. God damn it. Here was my chance to finally live them out. I'd done as much preparing as I could. My skin was covered head to toe, so there'd be no trace. There'd be no trace in. My week's been good. How's your week been, FA? Keep it off. He did say please. Oh, that's good. Have you all made sure to eat food and have water today? I hope so. Spending time with my girlfriend. Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations! That's fabulous! Hi, Nav. Thank you for the lurker check-in. Human, you might want to be careful with that because they might like it. I gotta go back to my thing. My skin was covered head to toe, and there'd be no trace emphatic cells for a forensic team to find. Only one of Allie's direct neighbors had a security system, and I hacked into their network to see if any of their cameras overlooked her backyard. They didn't. Just in case I missed something, I wore a balaclava to hide my face. The boots I shoved my feet into were a size larger than I normally wore, and I'd plastered over the soles, so there wasn't any indistinguishable tread marks but left behind. Damn, you thought this out. Goddamn. All that was left to do was to get in and do what I had to do and get out. Wait, why are we trying? Why are we coming after me? What'd I do? I'm reading a book. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just here. I took a deep breath and turned toward the door. The moon was only half full, but between it and the nearby Christmas lights, I was able to make out the doorknob. I tugged my backpack off and pulled my mini lockpicking kit free. The steel tools gleamed in the moonlight as I slipped them out and got to work. My personality sometimes skewed towards obsessive behavior, and I'd practiced this so much that it only took a minute to get the door unlocked. I turned the handle, praying it wouldn't be this easy, and let out a relieved breath when the door wouldn't budge because of the deadbolt. It still wouldn't be enough to keep me or a serious burglar out, and Allie needed better security than this. Sorry, so I could get monsters so I didn't have to sleep and get sleep. Where's in chapter 2? Still. I don't want why am I getting put in the basement? I did nothing. I'm just here. Can I try the button? Blocking all the people. Won't leave all. Just what the fuck? Josh hacked into Allie's social media account and found all the comments that she's made so far and got himself off because of it after fantasizing about it, and now he's trying to break into her house. As long as I keep my phone, I'm like, okay. What the fuck, Beckons? I made a mental note to place an anonymous order for her as I put the block picking kit away and pulled out the expensive magnets I had purchased online. Getting the deadbolt open would take a lot longer than the lock. I could have easily kicked the door in or used another destructive method to gain entry, but I didn't want to damage Allie's property or make it easier for anyone else to follow my footsteps. So so that meant doing things a slower and harder way. Because it shouldn't be a shock to you, Rich. Because, yeah. Irony of this Josh character not wanting to be like his dad while also fucking stalking and breaking. Right? That's kind of the whole thing. It's kind of an entirety. I don't know how, I'm sorry. But the comments are the best part. Some are pretty yeah. So you can't comment? What the fuck? Sweat beating down along my brow as the minutes ticked by. Every time a noise sounded too close, I froze, my heart hammering. My heart hammering in my chest as I wondered if I was about to get caught. I nearly bolted when I heard the sudden wail of a siren, but instead of coming closer, it moved parallel to Alley Street and then away. I lost an entire minute afterwards as I relearned how to breathe. Me too, dude. This was fucking crazy. Full-blown batshit, and yet I couldn't seem to stop myself as I lifted the magnet and got back to work on her deadbolt. After what I felt like was a small eternity, the magnets caught and the lock slid open. I leaned my forehead against the door, letting out a shaky breath. So much adrenaline sourcing through my veins that my whole body shook with the need to expel it. I was still half afraid this would end in disaster, but the sheer thrill of doing something so dangerous and illegal was more exhilarating than anything I'd ever experienced, including skydiving. What's your accommodation for being in the big? I have an accommodation? What? I kind of need my stream stuff. I'm just saying. Soul Sing? I question if I'd ever been in the basement. I've been in other places, like I've been in tunnels. Except not in a basement. Oh, yeah. She asked for it in my comments literally, though. Was this what it had been like for my dad? Did this same thrill drive him on as much as his more sadistic desires? I shook my head and straightened. I could wonder about that shit later. Right now I need to get inside. I turned the handle and cautiously pushed the door open. The one thing I couldn't find online was whether or not Allie had any pets. I hadn't heard barking while I was jimmying the locks, but that didn't mean there wasn't an attack dog waiting for me inside that had been trained to be quiet. Sure, I could have been assuaged my worry by asking my roommate Tyler. Tyler had been here a few times, so he would know the answer. But I didn't want him to think I was interested in any of his exes, especially Allie. How can I not get my online stuff? How am I supposed to stream if I don't have my stream stuff? Wait, the other side. Here. The rear of the house was dark, with only a soft glow emanating from the front room where Allie's Christmas tree stood, proud and fully lit in the window. It was enough illumination to make out my surroundings and realize there were no dogs waiting to pounce. I quickly shut the door behind me and locked it. An unholy yowl split the air. Fuck. Allie had some sort of demonically possessed canine after all. And it would probably rip through my pant leg and splash my blood all over the goddamn house for the cops to find. I grabbed the doorknob and was about to tear out of there when a small fluffy shape darted into the room and stopped short. A cat. Allie had a cat. We eyed each other in the darkness. It was pretty runty despite the long hair, the long black and white hair. If push came to shove, I could take it. Don't fuck with me, I warned. In response, it turned sideways, stood on its tiptoes, fluffing up like a skunk. I love cats so much. Who said I would want to call for help? I'm just saying. Despite myself grinning, the cat might be small, but it looked like a fighter, and that I could appreciate. I never had a pet. Serial killers were well known for getting their start on small animals, and I didn't want the temptation in case I was more like my dad than I realized. I worried that if I had adopted one, I'd either wouldn't feel anything for it, meaning none of the protective instincts or cute aggression most pet owners seemed overwhelmed with, or I'd have all my greatest fears confirmed and I'd take one look at it and think, pray. As the seconds ticked by, I stood glued to the doormat, waiting for some violent urge to overtake me. All I felt was a slight trepidation. Cats had claws, right? What if it lunged at me and scratched deep enough to draw blood? Even a drop was enough to identify somebody. Or someone. But I can't, but my stream stuff. That's not nice. That's not nice. Right? I like the cat too. Without warning, the cat deflated and sauntered forward. Oh fuck, what was it doing? I stepped back, flattened myself against the door, weirdly mesmerized by how its eyes glowed in the darkness. This small, fluffy creature would be easy to kill, yet I had no desire to harm it. That had to be a good sign, right? Or was this such a new experience that whatever horrible response I might normally have was muted? Wait, why are you taking my streaming stuff, Rich? What the fuck? What the fuck? Why are we taking lady streaming stuff? We don't take lady streaming stuff. Yeah, what Damon said, see? Again, why would I call for help? I'd probably be right where I want to be. You want to stream? Why don't you stream, Rich? No scratching, I told the cat. There was still a chance that some monstrous craving for blood was stirring behind the surface, undetected. And if it attacked me, those murderous instincts might roar into the forefront of my psyche and cause me to do something terrible. I'd been taught not to trust myself, and this seemed like the perfect setup for learning just how alike my dad and I really were, once and for all. I mean, you can. It kind of sucks, but you can stream on your phone. Oh, it won't let you. Oh, I'm sorry. The cat strode up right up to my feet, unperturbed, I think. I remained frozen in place, waiting for the proverbial other shoe to drop. But instead of biting me, it sniffed my pant leg and butted its forehead into my shin, purring so loud it sounded like an engine turning over. Oh, the baby likes you. That's cute. I let out a relieved breath and a half. Fell into a squat to get a closer look at it. The thing was kind of cute, with white patches over its eyes that made it look like it had eyebrows. Right now, they were drawn together as the cat half had liddled its eyes and butted against my leg again, as if looking to be petted. Had I ever thought anything was cute before? Maybe the better question was, had I ever let myself? Sorry if I fucked this up, I said, lifting a hand to scratch the cat between the ears and then stroke it down its back like I'd seen other people do on TV. This was the first time I'd ever pet an animal, and my fingers shook. Thankfully, it was from unspent adrenaline and not the rising desire to strangle Allie's fur baby. Crisis averted, for now, at least. So far, I'd learned two crucial things about myself this week. I didn't want to hurt Allie or her cat. Maybe I wasn't a psychopath after all. They cared about no one and nothing but themselves, but that didn't rule out sociopath. Most sociopaths were capable of caring for a few select people. They were their rare exceptions, developing intense love and devotion for them while feeling absolutely nothing for anyone else. I cared about my mom, stepdad, and Tyler. They were my people, and I barely thought of others. But was that because of a personality disorder, or because they were the only ones who had earned my trust? I shook my head and stood, ignoring the cat's annoying meow of protest when I stopped petting it. I wasn't here to bond with an animal. My time was limited, and the longer I lingered, the higher risk of detection. I could puzzle out my mental health later. I had a video to film and a camera to place. Oh shit! Had a video to film and a camera to place. It was time to find out just how serious Allie was about wanting to walk into her house and find a masked man waiting for her in the darkness. Oh, fuck. Okay. This is gonna be fucking great. I'm so excited. Chapter 3. Allie. Everyone in the goddamn city had lost their minds, or at least that's what it felt like tonight. We saw our fair share of accidents during a regular shift, but this one was different. I'd lost account of the number of patients I had seen over the last 7 hours who had hurt themselves or gotten hurt by someone else doing dumb shit even a child should know better than to attempt. Was there some dangerous new social media trend I hadn't seen yet? Or a revamp of that old TV show that some dude with dudes crashing shopping carts into things? Something had to explain this level of stupidity, and it couldn't all be coincidental. We were in the middle of a mini lull, not uncommon so late at night, and I was curled up in the break room chair trying to get comfortable as I downed another cup of coffee. My shift was only half over, and if the second leg of my night progressed like the first, I needed all the caffeine I could get to keep me going. Tanya swept into the room, strode right to the window, so focused as she stared into the night sky. I didn't think she noticed me. And it isn't even a goddamn full moon, she said under her breath. I straightened in my chair. So it's not just my patience? She turned my way and shook her head, her long braids falling over her shoulders. No, something's gotten into the city tonight. We shared a troubled glance and then looked away from each other. Things like this happen sometimes. Old patterns emerge that made me think humans were more connected than we realized. One week, we might see a spike in a car crash victims without anything like bad weather or traffic to explain the uptick. The next, we could get more domestic assault victims than usual, and then what? The one after that, more gunshot wounds. Our weather was a lot of rain. Had a lot of rain. Oh, I get my stream stuff. Yay! Where is it? Where was I? I lost my words. Where was my thing? Oh, there we go. Tanya and I had talked about it a couple of times, wondering if humans shared some kind of hive mind. Sometimes, I swear to God, they do. Or if it had something to do with the magnetic currents or our subconsciousness all picking up the same subtle signals from the world around us. No taking stream stuff. You can't take my computer. I couldn't stream to you guys if I didn't have my computer. I'd even mentioned it to one of the cops who regularly got stationed here, and instead of thinking I was a weirdo, he'd agreed with me, telling me he and his co-workers saw something similar. They'd get a slew of people who had almost no traceable connections to each other committing virtually the same crime one week. The next, it would be a new group doing something else. Not my keyboard, I like my keyboard. I told Tanya about it afterward, and we've both been so freaked out that now we avoided the subject altogether, as if bringing it up might trigger a new wave of weirdness. How is Brinley? I asked. Tanya had worked with her the night before, keeping an eye on her like I had the night before that. Tanya pushed away from the window and went to the coffee maker. Good. Thank God. I think you're right. She'll be able to stick it out. That first bad night just threw her. Nothing like a baptism by fire to test someone's mettle, I said. Tanya finished pouring her coffee and turned toward me, leaning her hip against the counter as she took her first sip. It wouldn't have been so bad if we had more people to split patients between. I perked up at that. Speaking of, are you going to that job fair next month? The hospital is regularly put up booths at high school job fairs and local recruitment events in the effort to lure more people into the nursing fields. Few would end up working here, but we saw any increase in numbers as a win. Tanya nodded. Want to come with? It counts as a shift, and you might see some daylight for once. She eyed me over the rim of her mug, one brow raising. You're looking pretty pasty lately. Hi, good boy. You can't take my entire setup, Rich. Oh, bye, Rich, sweetie. I rolled my eyes, and I hope your sales pitch at the fair is better than that. She snorted. You in or out? Don't make me take someone like Donna. Okay, I'll let you know. We both grimaced. Donna was one of the nurses who'd been here with Brinley last week. She had a terrible bedside manner and no natural instincts for caretaker work. Bringing her to a recruitment fair was more likely to drive people away from the career field than toward it. Yeah, I'll go, I said. Tanya let out a relieved breath and took another sip of coffee. Silence fell between us, but it was a comfortable one we both settled into. Some nights we'd sit and chat between patients, sharing gossip. Others were like this. Both of us stuck in our heads, just trying to catch our breath in the middle of a rough shift. Tanya's pager beeped on her hip, and she swore under her breath as she checked it. Lab results, she said, downing the dregs of her coffee before striding out of the room. I checked my pager as she left. I was waiting on blood work for 2 patients myself, and it wasn't surprising mine hadn't beeped at me yet. Maybe I could bribe my lab tech friend, Vern, to bump me up in her queue. The date at the top of my pager caught my eye, and I straightened in my seat. Today was Thursday. That meant a new video from Faceless Man. He posted every Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday like clockwork. How the fuck had I forgotten? You can't take my setup. No. I know it's coming soon. Thank you for letting me know, human. I dove out of my chair towards my locker. To have the break room to myself was a minor miracle, and I wouldn't miss my chance to watch the new video in peace. Come on, I muttered as I turned the dial on my lock. With impatient fingers, the door could open at any second, and then this opportunity would be over. And I'd have to wait until the next lull or the end of my shift to watch it. I opened the lock and grabbed my phone out of my purse. My fingers flew as I pulled it close, tapping my favorite social media icon and going straight to the search bar. His creator page filled my screen. A heartbeat later, a warmth flooded in my body as I saw the familiar video covers of him in various poses and stages of undress. Damn, that man was fine. My breathing picked up as I stared down at my phone, nipples peeking beneath my scrubs. I was like a Pavlovian dog for him, but instead of drooling over the anticipation of food, I got wet somewhere else over the expectation of pleasure. This couldn't be normal. My knee-jerk reaction to him, like I was primed and ready to go after the merest glimpse at his page. And I needed to stop masturbating to his videos because being this turned on this quickly was starting to be a problem. Especially right now, when there was no time to relieve my sudden need, and I'd be left aching with thoughts of him for the rest of the night. I probably should have put the phone down and watched the thirst trap later, preferably in the solitude of my bedroom, where I had easy access to a vibrator, but there went my finger, opening the latest video as if it had a mind of its own. It must be a good one because it only had been posted a few hours ago and already had over 100,000 views. Damn. I pulled the phone closer and watched as the haunting song started to play. All I saw was darkness until the camera panned upward, revealing the faceless man's mask lying flat on something. The camera panned more, and holy shit, it was lying on a bed. And I had that same comforter. I hit pause, let out a tortured groan. Oh no, 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 no. I should have not started watching this here. My pussy clenched at the sight of that mask laying on what could have been my bed, spasming in a way that only my biggest vibrator or a long hard fuck could ease. Quit now while you're ahead, I thought. Watching the rest of the video could only end in torture. But despite knowing how uncomfortably aroused I'd be for the rest of the night, I couldn't help but lift the phone back up and hit unpause. The music started playing again, and the masculine hand slid into view, nails clipped short, tattoos whirling down the back of it right onto the finger. The camera panned out a little more, and I realized a shaky exhale as a muscular forearm was revealed, covered in tattoos and veins. And oh my god, what was it about forearms that had such a chokehold on me? And we wait because ads. I'm so excited. This is fucking great. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm enjoying this book so far. Oh. Bye-bye, Balthar Tyrion. Fuck. It's a really good book so far. I'm very excited. To be fair, I own this book and the 3 others that this author has put out. I haven't got a chance to read them yet, so I'm very excited about it. I see my entire library, my mini little library that I have so many books like this, and I live for it. Be back a minute. I'm putting. Okay, you have fun. Like, I'm almost done with the second book of Haunting Adeline. So Hunting Adeline, I'm almost done with it. I think I have like 6 chapters left. I'm also reading a different book called Rhapsody, I think is what it's called. That one's a really good one so far too. I have a lot of books. I love books so much, and I'm not even gonna lie, when you guys mentioned that you wanted to hear me read, I got so excited, because then that means I also get to read books, and that made my day so much. And then now I get to read to you guys, even though I sound weird. At least I feel like I sound weird, but I get to read to you guys, and it makes me very, very happy. Well, I'm glad that you like it. Void is late. No. Yeah, we're in chapter 3. You're like 2 hours late. Damn. Yeah, very late. We're reading Lights Out, and yes, because community wanted to be read to, and so yes. And this was the book that they chose because I put a poll up. So, yeah. Like, I feel like the odd one out because I never imagined the selections. Wait, what? What do you mean? I mean, I haven't gotten any issues. To be fair, I've also said some worse things while live on Twitch. I'm just saying. What's up, cutie pie? We don't question it, we roll with it. What's up, sweetie? What, different, like different versions? Being tired of, yeah, look at, oh, I wouldn't doubt that. The next one in 5. That's awesome. I don't know shit about sports, but that's awesome. I know everyone's been excited about it. What kind of weather you got, FA? This is a valid point. How'd you guys not realize that there were like several different selections of smut? I won. I did. I won. I was about to set off the homemade. That's not good. Oh, not the sun. I see. I like thunderstorms. I just don't like thunder. But the lightning, I love. Also, fun fact, like the majority of my book collection that I have is all dark romance. Because yes, for obvious reasons. Oh, on to reading. What was it about? But forearm, I can understand. Forearms do something, and it's fucking amazing. Urban hometown got hit by a tornado. Oh no! I hope everyone's safe in the hometown. Yeah, no, forearms hit though. Like, so good. What is it about forearms that has such a chokehold on me? Was it because I could picture those muscles flexing as that big hand held both of mine over my head? Or better yet, bunching with barely restrained strength as long fingers wrapped around my throat? The hand slid over the mask, curling into the eye sockets before dragging it slowly out of view as a painfully low male voice sang about doing unholy things in the bedroom. The faceless man's music selection was always perfect, able to turn even a simple video like this into a clit tease. It was even worse this time because I couldn't stop picturing him filming it in my bedroom. What you don't know, Girly Pop, is that it is in your bedroom. It left a 40. Oh no, I'm so sorry for those people. Oh, I hope everything gets better. Oh, bye, human. Oh shit. Suddenly the camera snapped up and I sucked in a sharp breath. There he was, framed in a mirror, in all his shirtless glory, phone in one hand as he filmed himself, the other slowly undoing his belt. I hit the pause button again to take it all in. He was perfection. Maybe not for everyone, but he was for me. With heavy muscles gained from what must have been hours in the gym, toned and trim in all the right places, wide and dense in others. I traced my tongue through the valley I wanted to trace my tongue through the valley between his pegs, worship his abs, and spend an ungodly amount of time memorizing the deep V of his hip flexors. More than anything, I wanted to replace his hands with mine, undo his belt, and pull out what looked like a sizable dick. If the bulge in his pants was anything to go by, and spend the rest of the night doing things with him would make the devil blush. A noise sounded in the hall, reminding me that my time was limited. I unpaused the video and watched the last few seconds, revealing where to go. I watched the last few seconds, revealing in the slow, measured way he slid his belt loose and wrapped it around his fist while taking deep, labored breaths, his chest heaving. Why was this so goddamn sexy? Probably because you're picturing him breathing like that while wrapping his belt around your wrist to restrain you, you horny little bitch. Yeah. Damn, I had it for this. I had it for this man. I'd never even met him. Had no idea what he looked like beneath that mask or what he even sounded like. He'd never spoken in his videos. That was probably the allure. Kinky sex with a hot, faceless man who didn't speak? Sign me the hell up. I had about enough of men's voices lately. I could not. I beg to differ. But okay. Something in the corner of the mirror caught my eye, and I hit pause again right before the video ended. The backgrounds of his videos were always dark and out of focus, but I could have sworn I was staring at the edge of my dresser, complete with what might have been the clutter of my makeup containers and hastily discarded hair clips. I must have had it bad if I was to go so far to saw a few blurry shapes and supplanted them with my furniture and belongings. Either way, this was officially my new favorite thirst trap. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. This was my new favorite thirst trap. But whether it was coincidence or my mind playing tricks on me, it was far too easy to imagine it being filmed in my bedroom. God, the things I would do to myself while watching this. in the coming days and weeks. I wondered if this guy had any idea of the effect he had on people. Would he be freaked out if he learned how hard I lusted after him? Or into it? My beeper went off, jarring me out of my thoughts so badly that I almost dropped my phone. Before shoving it in my locker, I saved the video to my favorites and typed out a hurried, "I have that comforter. This could have been filmed in my bedroom. Let's go, bitches." Knowing all the other people I'd interacted with countless times before in the Faceless Man's comments would see it and be dying of jealousy by the time I logged back in. 9 excruciatingly long hours later, I pulled into my driveway and cut the car's engine, leaning my forehead against the steering wheel. Tonight was shit, complete and utter shit. Capped off by losing a heart attack patient we thought had been stable. She'd been so young, to barely 50? Her husband and teenage kids crowded around the bed when the second heart attack hit, watching in horror as we shoved them out and tried and failed to save her life. It was nights like this that made me want to quit. I'd gotten into nursing to save people, and every single death felt like a personal failure. Like it was my fault they hadn't made it because of some sign I missed or a test I hadn't thought of or thought to perform. Logically, I knew that couldn't be true, but it wasn't like I was alone in treating them. I worked with countless nurses and specialists and doctors, and these feelings were likely caused by my lingering grief over Mom. But it didn't make it any better, or lessen the guilt that wrecked me every time we lost a patient. I made a mental note to bring this up in the next therapy session, and I got out of the car. Fred came yowling toward me once I was inside. I scooped him up, smushed him for longer than usual, trying to ground myself in him and trick my brain into thinking happier thoughts. I put him down when he started squirming, and then went straight to the kitchen. Wine was calling my name. I'd held off on drinking since sending the regrettable text to Tyler, but if I had ever needed alcohol, it was tonight. I clocked my stove. Oh, the clock on the stove was blinking, reading 12, and it stopped me short. We must have lost power sometime during the night. My house was toasty warm, and the utility company hadn't sent a message about it like they usually did when it went out. So it must have been a weird blip or something that didn't last long enough to trigger a notification. I shrugged and went to the fridge. Fred winding between my legs like he was hell-bent on tripping me. I swear to God, cats do that. He stayed glued to my shins. Extra clingy for some reason, as I pulled out a fresh bottle of white and poured myself a large glass. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Where was I? Fuck. Okay, I suppose I had been gone longer than expected again. My scheduled 12-hour shift turned into 16 instead. Tomorrow was an off day, so I'd make it up to him then. Right now, I needed wine and alone time with my phone and vibrator. You'd think all the blood and trauma I'd seen tonight would distract me from my desires, but I was so used to it that it only did so in the moment. As soon as I had a second to myself again, images of that mask lying on what could have been my comforter swirled into the forefront of my mind. Lust was a natural response to a traumatic event. The body wanting a reminder of being alive after skirting so close to death. I'd long since stopped fighting it. I know, buddy, I said, leaning down to scratch Fred behind the ears. Just give me like 10 minutes. It's all it would take at this point. I shut him out of my room, flicked on the light, and froze. There was something on my bed. There was something on my bed that I hadn't left there. What the fuck? This is getting exciting. The wine started trembling in the glass as my fingers shook, but I couldn't force myself to put it down because I couldn't move. I was completely immobile, held in place by my rising fear. Had someone been in my house? Were they still here? Fuck, what was that why? Ah, fuck, I'm hydrating. Oh, dick fuck. Shift? Okay. Hydration just happened. Okay. Where was I? Fuck, was that why Fred had been so insistent? He had been trying to warn me? I will not be a victim, I thought, forcing myself to move to the step forward, set the glass of my phone down on my dresser, and dropped to a squat as I quietly slid open the bottom drawer and pulled out the gun I kept in there. Shush! Fucking fuck. Living alone in the big city and seeing the worst of what it could do to women on a nightly basis made me paranoid for valid reason. I had a gun in my car and one more besides the one I held hidden nearby. I slept with a baseball bat inside my bed and mace and throwing knives on my nightstand. Okay, within easy reach. 2 days a week, I took a hand-to-hand combat course taught by an ex-marine who didn't go easy on me because I was the only female or the only woman in his class. If someone else was in my house right now, they'd be leaving it in a body bag. I strained my ears as I straightened and I slowly approached the bed. I didn't hear anyone else, but that didn't mean someone wasn't standing in my closet or waiting beneath my bed, ready to grab an ankle when I got close. With that in mind, I stepped out of arm's reach, leaned forward, freezing in place for a second time in less than a minute. There was a mask on my bed. Not just any mask. His mask. I'd stared at it so much over the past several months that I would recognize it anywhere. I hadn't lost my mind, and I imagined my things in his video. That was really my dresser in the corner of the mirror because he filmed the thirst trap I'd been lusting over all night in my actual goddamn bedroom. Holy shit, what was happening? And what the hell did I do now? What the hell did I do now? Call the cops? Check to see if he was still here? My vision swam in and out of focus for a heartbeat. What if all the blood in his videos wasn't fake? What if none of this was a fun little kink for him, like it was for the rest of us? What if he was some sort of serial killer hiding in plain sight, and he used his platform to lure his victims to him? Was I about to be next? Was this the beginning of some twisted game of cat and mouse? I shook my head. If that were the case, wouldn't I have noticed all the different bedrooms he'd filmed in as he taunted his victims? I hadn't. Aside from the one he shot tonight in here, all his videos had one of three backgrounds: a couch, a wall with red lighting, and a massive bed with black sheets, making this the one exception to the rule. Why me? Why now? And why was I so fucking turned on by it when I knew I should run screaming from my house instead? Because you a fucked up bitch, like the rest of us. Chapter 4. On to Josh. I think this will be the last chapter that we read, and then I'm gonna raid you guys out. Oh, I fucked up. I'd fucked up bad. The camera I had discreetly placed in Allie's room showed her. You put a camera in her room? Hi, Rambo. Moore's kitty. Showed her standing several feet from the bed. I've been good, sweetie. How have you been? Her light blue scrubs were rumpled after her marathon shift to the hospital, and strands of her hair had slipped free from her braid to frame her face in loose waves. Her dark eyes were huge, an expression of pure disbelief on her face as she stared at the mask I'd left for her. She lifted the gun she held, bracing it with both hands as she looked around the room. Is anyone in here? You're perfectly fine, Rambo. Don't even worry about it, sweetheart. She called out loud. She called out loud and clear. I'd never been so attracted to someone in my life. She looked ready to shoot anything that moved. Thank fuck I hadn't stayed, or I'd probably be bleeding out on her floor right now. I quickly went over the entire night in my head, searching for any trace evidence I might have left behind. I've been so careful while there that I didn't think that there was anything for the cops to find when Allie eventually snapped out of it and called them. Even when I took off my shirt to film the video, I'd left the balaclava on the whole time, so there wouldn't be so much as a stray hair to give me away. I'd even taken the time to relock her back door and cover my footsteps in the melting snow. Damn, you went to the fire. We are reading Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I think that's how you pronounce her first name. I could be wrong. I didn't put the camera in her room to watch her change or sleep like some sick fucks though. Now that I thought about it. Wait, no, I need to stop right the hell there. That road led nowhere good. This invasion of privacy was bad enough without adding sexual predator to my list of crimes. Oh fuck. The reason I put the camera in her room was to gauge her reaction and learn whether or not she meant what she said in all of her comments. Was she actually into the same dark shit that I was? Or was she just a tourist? Judging from her look of horror, she was the latter, which meant I needed to start implementing my exit strategy. I have orders to cancel, plans to scrape, and cover up work to do. Also, the sweetheart named Loki did so. Anyway, what the fuck? What? Did you have a reaction to me calling you sweetheart? Oh god, where was I? Oh shit. It's okay. You're perfectly fine and safe here, I promise. I had taken every safety precaution I could think of to obscure my digital footprint, and knew of only 3 hackers in the US capable of tracing my steps, and maybe, if they were lucky, and avoided all the traps I had left in my wake, finding me. 2 of them worked for the NSA, and the other one was currently in jail, so I felt safe in my work for now. Plus, I doubted the local cops would go as far as to call in the feds over a run-of-the-mill home invasion in which nothing got destroyed or stolen. Even my social media account was secure, or as secure as it could be. Anyone who hacked it would be led straight into a mid-30-something dad in Utah with a secret mask king. He was a real guy named Carl with an actual mask fetish and a matching clandestine thirst trap account his wife didn't even know about. Our tattoos weren't the same, but he filmed different content. But the amount of work it would take for cops to figure all that out would give me ample time to cover the rest of my tracks and disappear offline. Right? Damn, Carl. Sorry, Carl, but sacrifices had to be made. I should have probably feel worse for the guy than I did, but like boundaries, empathy was hard for me. Maybe that's where I'd gone wrong with Allie. I'd been so excited about the prospect of living out our shared fantasy that I hadn't stopped to consider things from her perspective. What would it be like for a woman living alone to realize a stranger had invaded her home? He may be a little insane, but in a hot kind of way. I'm just saying. I popped the second tab and split my screen, watching Allie duck down and look under her bed, gun leading the way while I typed in quick internet search. Right? Oh my, that's a camera. I wonder how small the camera is. That's what I want to know. Yes, in a hot way. Okay, we must recall the fact that I am a dark romance reader. Okay, this shit, fucking hot. The results were not good. Yep, this was where I'd fucked up. According to Google, Allie was probably terrified, angry, and felt like her home was compromised, violated, even turning from a sanctuary yet into another place where she felt unsafe. I like how you did a Google search, sweetheart. Oh my god, you precious thing. How did I make up for such a colossal misstep? Roses? Men in movies and TV were always sending roses. That didn't seem like enough though. Maybe if I sent a lot of them. Oh god. I popped open another tab, pausing to watch Allie clear the rest of her room while a woman who knew what she was doing. It was hot. Despite her apparent fear, she moved confidently and competently, like she had formal training. And maybe she did, and maybe that self-defense course she took taught her how to do this. I made a mental note to hack into their cameras and check as I bought out a local floral shop using someone else's money. Theft. I didn't feel so bad about it, especially when my victim was a wealthy criminal who had recently tried to steal millions of dollars from one of my company's clients. I rebuffed their infantile attempt and slid right into their own security unseen, learning all sorts of interesting things about them, including their credit card information. Wait, what was wild? On screen, Allie finished clearing her bedroom and in suit, and then suite, whatever, and then strode out the door. I cranked my speakers as loud as they would go, hoping to hear if she called the cops while out of sight. Several minutes passed in near silence, with only a few soft sounds of movement, so to tell me that she was working her way through the rest of the small house. I cursed myself for only placing one camera instead of two. What was she doing? How was she feeling? Was there any way to come back from this, or had I lost my chance with her already? Are you okay, Fred? I heard her ask, and I immediately perked up, wondering who the fuck she was talking to. Our people are so strange when you consider what they do without the comforting pressure of society telling them how normal it is. I think some dead plants are really pretty. Anger roared through me out of nowhere as I waited for Fred's response. There was already another guy in her place? Had she planned to meet him there after work? I didn't hear any doors open or shut, and he didn't hurt you while he was here, did he? She asked. A soft meow echoed out of my speakers. You were trying to warn me when I came home, weren't you? Another meow. I like dead flowers. I specifically like to dry them out and then keep them. I think they're prettiest that way. Yeah, no, some cameras can be really fucking small. Oh, Fred was her cat. My jealousy deflated. How can you be jealous? You literally just snuck into this woman's house and proceeded to film a thirst trap in her house. Who the fuck? My jealousy deflated, and I unclenched my hands from where they had a death grip on the arms of my computer chair. Wow, okay. This knee-jerking rage was new, and probably not a good thing. No shit. I'd have to keep an eye on it, and I might not want to hurt Allie or her cat, but the thought of another guy in there with her had sent me straight to kill him with knives. He hasn't watched her change yet. Yet is a key word there. Are pretty too. I just gotta give a girl a skull on the first. See, that's where you need you gotta find the right bitch for that. Goth bitches would die for that. Would love it. I would know. I am one. So yes. Yet is the key part of that sentence. Yet he will. He will watch her at some point. But yeah. My speakers went quiet, and I sat straining my ears as I waited for some sign that Allie, was, I don't know, okay, or pissed, or scared, anything really. Not seeing her was the problem. After all the nights I'd watched her through the hospital's cameras this week, she wore every emotion on her face, and I'd spent my sleepless hours learning each one. Damn. Finally, she walked back into view, carrying Fred in one arm and a dining room chair in the other, sporting a look of sheer determination. She set Fred on her bed and shut the bedroom door, bracing the chair beneath the knob and barricading herself inside. I wouldn't be canceling that anonymous purchase after all if a chair was what she resorted to in order to protect herself. She needed all the home defense equipment I bought her. Why didn't she already have it? Her neighborhood had a relatively low crime rate compared to the other parts of the city, and she could clearly defend herself. But hadn't I just proven how easy it was for someone truly determined to break into her house? I knew it wasn't about money. Her mother's life insurance policy had paid for nursing school and most of the down payment on her home. And she made a respectable income thanks to her salary and all the overtime she pulled at the hospital. She had merely grown complacent? Had she merely grown complacent? Just a chair. Yeah, literally just a chair. Well, was the skull washed the first time? Because if it's fresh or old, it needs to be cleaned up. Yeah, what Damon said. Hey. Maybe I'd done her a favor by breaking it and showing her the error of her ways. I grimaced. Yikes. No to any more thoughts like that. I was obviously trying to rationalize what I had done and lessen my guilt over it, which I shouldn't. Because if Google had taught me anything tonight, it was that I'd royally fucked up. The revelation was confirmed that Allie strode into her dresser, swapped her gun for her wine, and she left there earlier, chugging it like a beer at a frat party. The glass shook in her fingers as, what about Fred? Fred can only protect her so much. The poor little baby can get punt kicked really easily. Where was I? The glass shook in her fingers as she set it back down, and I cringed because fuck, her fear turned me on. I'd been avoiding acknowledging how aroused I was, but the way my dick strained against my gym shorts as Allie visibly trembled was impossible to ignore. Right? Kitty. Okay, so I didn't want to hurt her, but I did want to scare her. Potentially troubling, but far from the worst case scenario. And it really did, didn't that confirm something I'd already known about myself? For fuck's sakes, I regularly covered my chest in staged blood and held a butcher knife while sitting in the dark, staring into a camera like I just got done slaughtering an entire family. I got off on all the comments from people telling me they were both turned on and slightly terrified by my content. Those comments stirred something inside of me, making me feel powerful, feral, and dangerous, like the world was mine for the taking. And the fact that there were so many others into my specific kinks. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine, Rambo. Fuck, where was I? Okay. The fact that there were so many others into my specific kinks also normalized my desires. I didn't feel wrong for liking mass play or like I towed the line of dangerous territory that skirted so close to what my dad had done. This felt like it was all for me, And that's why I wanted Allie to be all for me. Not just because she was a beautiful woman with a mask kink who regularly... Thank you, sweetie. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. Oh shit, it's hereditary. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Ever so slightly. Where was it? A beautiful woman with a mask kink who regularly propositioned my alter ego. But because technically she stalked me first, or she tried to, if the search history I discovered when I hacked into her laptop. Why are you hacking into everything she owns? Damn. Hacked to her laptop was anything to go by. How do I find someone from social media? Who is the faceless man from TikTok? The faceless man's other social media accounts? Is there AI software to find people based on their tattoos? The fuck? See, she started it, and yes, I was aware that the argument wouldn't hold up in court of law, in a court of law. But this was the hill I chose to die on. The belief that Allie was a little fucked up too, just enough that she might hesitate before reporting me. If I were really lucky enough to play along with all the things I had planned for her. Ocean. This is a book read. This is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. Yeah. Also, you don't need to apologize for interruption. You're perfectly fine. See? She's when I started there. Okay, oh yeah. My attention returned to the video feed as she scooped her phone up and sat on the edge of her bed. The camera I'd installed was a genius little device. It mimicked her phone charger. Oh my god. It mimicked her phone charger with a working USB port and everything, while the blank white space above it looked insatious enough? Innocent? I'm gonna put innocent enough. He is unstable, and yes, there was software used. I need to. Oh, I didn't know that. He dedicated is an understatement. Where is it? Where was I? There it is. It was actually a film screen with a wide-angled camera hidden beneath it that was damn near imperceptible without a specialty device detector. I swiped her charger out for it right before leaving, checking on my phone to see if it was up and running before I slipped into the night and triggered another blackout to hide my escape. I tapped a few buttons and zoomed in on Allie's phone. She was on my social media page, probably getting ready to either block me or read me the riot act through a DM. I knew it, she said as she scrolled. Bed, couch, wall. I started to frown before I realized she was talking about the backgrounds of my videos. I filmed them all in my bedroom while Tyler was either fast asleep or out of the apartment, and those were the 3 locations I used until Allie's bedroom. Had she noticed the difference? She ran a hand over her face, turned to look at Fred, who sat by her side purring so loud I could hear it over the speakers. So he's probably not a serial killer who uses the app to lure his victims. So Tyler is Josh's roommate. So the current guy whose head we're in, that's his roommate. Also a prior fuck buddy of Allie's. I reared back. Was that what she thought? Fuck. That was the absolute last thing I wanted. How did I fix this? How did I fix this? I was half tempted to send her a DM explaining myself, but how would that work? Hey Allie, it's me, the man who broke into your house. I was just watching you through the camera I hid in your room and wanted to let you know that you are correct. I am not in fact a serial killer. Innocent, no work. Oh, awesome. It kind of sounded like innocent, so that's why I went with innocent. Jesus Christ. I knew I should have argued with my therapist when she said it was time to wean me off the antipsychotics. Clearly they'd been necessary if one of the first things I did once they were out of my system was start stalking someone. I lifted my hand and was about to kill the video feed when Allie turned on her bed to finally look at the mask. My finger hovered over the button as her expression shifted into something I hadn't seen before. Her eyes fluttered, half shut, and she bit her full bottom lip in a way that made me lean forward in my chair. A pretty flush stained her cheeks pink. Was she about to cry? This would be a crazy story for How I Met Your Mother. You are not wrong, Damon. She glanced sideways at her cat. Only one way to find out. Before I could zoom back in on what she was doing, she tapped something on her phone, fingers flailing over the screen before hitting the final key. A swoosh sound followed, like she had sent an email or a text. My phone chimed on my desk. I froze. Oh shit. Had she DM'd me? Oh fuck. Okay, so she's got balls. Fuck. Okay. Clearly, like it might rear up. Oh, carefully, like it might rear up and bite me. I lifted my phone. A notification flashed across it reading, user ally.oxen.free would like to send you a message. My heart pounded against my ribs as I unlocked the screen and opened her message. This might sound completely insane, but did you break into my house tonight, film a video in my bedroom, and leave a mask behind? You're not wrong, Nath. You are not wrong. But it's a great time sometimes. Fuck. How did I respond? If I said yes, it could eventually get held against me in a court of law. If I said no, I'd be gaslighting her. Was there some way to play it cool? Answer her question with a question that neither confirmed nor denied her suspicions? What would you do if I said yes? I asked. There, that seemed safe enough. How? Okay. On screen, her app pinged, and I had a front row seat as she read and reacted to my reply. She bit her lower lip again, sucking in a breath as she pulled her phone close. A few loose strands of her hair fell over her shoulder, obscuring her profile from my sight. Holy fucking shit, he answered. She said, her voice barely above a whisper. He never answers anyone, ever. Turn right a little so I can see you better, I almost demanded. But that would give the camera away. Now that I had her talking, I wasn't ready to have the feed cut off. Damn, he just wants to see all of her reactions. Oh yeah, I was wondering where I left it. Right? Oh god. She started typing again, and a second later my phone chimed. That depends, she said. On what, Allie? I typed back. She sucked in another breath and I grinned, so she liked it when I used her name. Did it make her feel special, knowing that the man she openly lusted after online, who notoriously never responded to comments or DMs, had finally chosen to speak to someone, and had that someone and that someone was her? If so, I'd type and say her name every chance she gave me. On what your intentions are, she said. I sat back in my chair. My intentions? How to respond? There were so many options, so many fantasies I play out in my mind with her already. There was the one of waking her up in the middle of the night with a knife to her throat, but instead of turning the blade on her, I'd slide the handle between her legs and use it to edge her to the brink of insanity. Teasing her, but never giving her what she wanted despite how much she begged and sobbed for release. Okay. That one's a fun one. Okay. Or the one where I kidnapped her in the hospital parking garage, drove her into the middle of the woods and told her to run as far as she could, because what I planned to do when I caught her wouldn't make even the devil weep. Sir, you are on some glorious things. Okay. But she probably wasn't ready for any of that right now, and she might still be thinking about calling the cops, so I settled for taunting her instead. My intentions? Oh, Allie. Why would I tell you what they are when your previous comments have led me to believe that fear is half the fun for you? What's up? I like how Damon's just dying. Dude's cheating on dating. The rest of us have to guess on her expression. To be fair, he spent hours watching her through the camera at the hospital and watched her reactions to things. So he spent hours figuring out her fucking expressions. Literally, bitch, turn around, I can't see. Cenobites. Don't like the fact that I find something that happy. I've learned to just not live with. I have my depravities and the things that I am into. I have come to accept. It makes me weird. It makes me unique, but it all makes it for a fun time. I lifted my eyes just in time to watch Allie drop her phone on the comforter and place her head in her hands. I need so much more therapy than I'm currently getting. Dude, yeah. We have such sights to show you. Hey, wait, that's the owner. Our victim. Bring her back. Get that one. Hello, Slayer. I grinned because Sam. Fred meowed and butted his head against her arm. Fur therapy isn't going to cut it this time, buddy, she said, scooping him up. And I'm sorry for this, but I need to do grown-up human things right now, and you can't be in here. As I watched, she strode to her bedroom and set Fred on the tile floor, apologizing again as she shut him inside. I waited with bated breath as she returned to the bed and picked up her phone. How can I trust that you wouldn't hurt me? She asked. You can't, Allie. I'm a stranger on the internet. Hi, William. She let out a sharp exhale and shook her phone. Don't you think I know that? I just need some sort of reassurance that I'm not about to be on the headline news. Valid. Good idea. Hide and seek. Yeah, you're not wrong, Rambo. Because yes, and fuck yes. I am reading. Thank you very much. I should have felt bad for her, but just like her fear, her obvious aggravation only turned me on. It had been a long time since I had made a woman this frustrated. Usually, I preferred their frustration to be sexual, winding them higher and higher until they finally snap. But with Allie, I got a thrill from even this benign form of antagonism. There was something about seeing such a beautiful woman turn feisty that got me going. Maybe it was the challenge. I liked women with some fight in them, ones who didn't put up with the bullshit, spoke their minds, and could care for themselves. Not that I had anything against meeker women, they just weren't for me. In fact, they downright terrified me because they'd been Dad's preferred prey. I never even dated one, let alone slept with one. On the off chance that I shared his proclivities, I stuck to strong, borderline aggressive women instead. Ones who had a better chance of fighting me off if I ever... Well, I'd rather not think about that while Allie is still filled my computer screen. Right, Rambo? It'd be a great fucking time. I'm struggling to read. Ah. Bounties are on provided we always get consent and proper communication while not hurting anyone. They are the safest. They are safest, accepted and expressed. All manner, expression and rejection. You are not wrong, Neth. He does like them spunky. You only need one thing. I mean, technically, with it being on my computer, yes. How is my voice great for this book? I feel like I sound fucking stupid reading this shit. Oh god. Where did I leave off at? Hang on. Oh, it's up there. Okay. Seeing her. Oh, okay. See, wait, did I already read that? No, I did not. Okay. Seeing her all riled up made me feel like rewarding her, despite my instinct screaming at me to be careful. I pulled up the second half of the video I'd shot in her room, the half that would get me banned from social media if I ever posted it. And before I could question myself, I uploaded it onto our message thread and hit send, acting on instinct alone. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Okay. I don't understand, but okay. Who would sound good reading a book like this? See, apparently there's a lot of people who sound really good reading books. I feel like I sound fucking weird, but I mean, I guess if you guys like it, I'm not gonna question it. Allie clapped a hand over her mouth when she opened it, her voice muffled when she groaned out, "Oh my fucking god." I leaned back in my chair and waited, wondering what she'd do with the video. It was another test. Most likely she was about to call the cops, but on the off chance she didn't, she was about to take the first step towards becoming mine. How can I make a grocery store? Okay, fun fact. This isn't even the worst it could be. Because as, I think, well, who was it? I think it was Human. Human earlier was just like, you should read this in the mommy voice. It could make it worse. Is he? She said. Hand slipping in. Just wait. I've read this book yet so. I don't doubt it. Asking if I should take a blinker of my yard. Take 1 and 3 for 3. Take the blinker. This is lights out. Yeah. Sliding now I'm picturing stupid things like how does lady sound in bed, then picturing her sounding like the Billy. Oh fuck you, not Billy the fucking goat. I love the confidence. We don't judge, we love it. Take the blinker, just don't kill yourself in the process. Oh, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the forest. Okay, onward to reading. Is he? She said, hand sliding into his pants. Yes, it was, and I was absolutely going to hell for taking a video of myself stroking my dick to full arousal in her bedroom. Her head fell forward. A low moan slipped from her lips. Her eyes were half lidded again when she raised them, cheeks pink, and suddenly I realized what this expression was: lust. Allie was fucked up too. Hallelujah. I'm a champ, don't worry. Okay, good. We love the fact that you're a good champ. In her bed, yeah, for real, in her bed, but it makes it even hotter. I'm just saying. What did you just call me a granny? The audacity on you. What the fuck? Oh god. She reached out with her free hand and and propped my mask against her pillows. Once it was settled, she stood and double-checked the chair braced against her door, ensuring it was secure before she went to her dresser, opened the top drawer, and pulled out a vibrator. Oh fuck, I need to kill the video feed. Not 10 minutes ago, I told myself the line in the sand was watching Allie sleep or change. Spying on her while she masturbated was way over it. Wrong on so many levels that holy shit, there went her pants. I caught the briefest glimpse of a well-manicured triangle of hair before she turned and look at her ass. Yes. Yes. Oh god. Help, but no, I don't. We can have a goat lady sound. No, we're not having a goat lady sound redeem. I'm not even a granny. We don't do this. We do an abbreviation? What are you doing an abbreviation of? I wanted to slap it hard enough to leave a mark, and then I wanted to bite it and turn her around in my lap and watch it bounce as I fucked her from behind. God bless whatever glute exercise she did at the gym, because they were paying off. No, this was wrong. I wasn't going to watch Allie pleasure herself to a video I'd sent her. I definitely wasn't snaking a hand into my shorts and stroking the base of my dick. Stop that. Bad hand. We're not doing this. Why are these my thoughts sometimes? I love him. He is my favorite now. I'm gonna have to guess what it means. Oh lord. Okay. Go to the wood. Go to the wood of this house again. What the fuck? Why are we talking about goat noises? Man had good taste at least and knows how to treat. Right? He knows just how to do. Yes, we love that. You have to know how to properly appreciate a good ass. On screen, Allie laid back on her bed with her spread legs facing my mask. Her phone held aloft in one hand, and she clicked the vibrator on with her other one, and without any foreplay whatsoever, positioned it at the apex of her thighs and slammed it all the way home. Her back arched, a half-tortured, half-pleasured cry ringing out over my speakers. I slapped the button to cut the video feed. My screen went black for good measure. I shoved my computer chair back, strode away from my desk, stopping in front of my bedroom window. My hands shook. I clasped them behind my head as I stared at the rising sun. Fucking hell. That was close. The sight of Allie's arched back was burned into my retinas, and her tortured cry had been far too sweet to my ears. If I watched for even a second longer, I never would have found the willpower to stop. I'm not buying for you. It was slightly reassuring that I still had some morals. Allie might be masturbating to a video I sent her, but she hadn't consented to me watching her do it. And sure, she hadn't consented to me breaking into her house, filming a thirst trap inside her bedroom, sending her sexually suggestive videos. Or sending her a sexually suggestive video, or watching her since she'd gotten home. But the line had to be somewhere, and sexual predation seemed like a pretty good place to draw it. No matter how much the darkest parts of my mind protest that she protested that she didn't know wouldn't hurt her. And we have an ad break and we wait. Hi, Ink Souls. Hi, cutie pie. The wildest thing you've ever asked somebody, Damon, is for somebody to bite you? Take your best guess. I'll DM what it means if your guess is wrong. Okay. I'm down to try. Yes, the ads, they burn. I'm so sorry. You picked a good stream to come watch after we're in chapter 4. You sent it already? Okay. I will look. Hang on. That was loud. Shifting. Oh, good. Is it already before the message? Okay, so whatever abbreviation you put was not there. It did not show.
Without further interruption, let's celebrate and suck some dick.
Sweetie, you didn't need to do that, but thank you. I appreciate you. Hi, Sushi. Welcome back, sweetheart. I was forced into it. She threatened to take... Never, because Red Bull's good. There we go. Why do you hate me? Accept.
Hello there.
It defies me. It says no. Just stopping by to show some love. Keep up the great work and enjoy the... Well, thank you, sweetie. Thank you for popping in. Genuinely, what did I just read? Okay, so you're in the middle of chapter 4 of Lights Out. So, hi, welcome in. Not the Red Bull or Red Ball? I said Red Bull. No, I saw. I just didn't know how to respond. Oh, there we go. Hi, Sushi! You've made it into the purple! Welcome in. Have I pondered this too long? Can I answer this after stream? Because I'm about to ponder on this for a second. Yeah, okay, I got you. I can do that. Okay. Also, I'm super sorry that the ads were killing your chup, apparently. For the picture of awesome powers, asking you to buy for them. You want to know a funny fact, though? I can sound like a baby goat. Ironically enough. But I am not doing it. At least not right now. Okay, I'm down. I like riddles a lot. Okay. More's the pity. Oh god, where was I? Okay. No matter how much the darkest parts of my mind protest that what she didn't know wouldn't hurt her, I was already becoming unhealthily obsessed with Allie. There was no way this would end well for either of us if I didn't hold myself in check. But now that I had her within my sight, I couldn't seem to stop myself. And all my carefully laid out plans of taking it slow and ease her into things were going up in flames. I needed her, and whether she was ready or not, I was about to put her to the ultimate test. And I just hoped it didn't end with either of us traumatized or dead. Damn. Okay. This is chapter 5. We will save this for another day. I gotta raid you guys out somewhere. For the love of God. Also, Tiki Taki, it was lovely having you guys. You guys are amazing, beautiful. I will see you guys on Monday. Probably for some more Fortnite. I'm not gonna lie. So, I love your faces. I'll talk to you guys next time. Ooh. Hey, bye. Okay. Save. Now I get to switch you guys somewhere else. Ow. My foot. That hurted. Where for art though? Button press. Same category. Who shall we send you? Where for out shall we send you? I don't know. I don't know what this is. That's a lot. I'm gonna send you guys to some random cat lady. She's cute though. But you beautiful lovelies, I will see you guys. If you guys could stick around for the raid, that'd be fucking amazing. I will see you guys on Wednesday. For something. God knows what it is, but something. Brain, work for me. If you haven't had some num nums, get some num nums. If you haven't had water, get some water. And I want you all to stay beautiful, magical, and wonderful. Don't do too much fuck shit, just enough fuck shit. And don't be complete little heathens. Sometimes. Yeah. But I love all of your faces, and I'll see you guys next time.